Welcome to the Bag Makers Workroom. I am Chris with Simply Classic, and today is Thursday, June 25th, 2026. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, everyone. We go live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't join live, watch the recording on YouTube at any time. Make sure you hit the bell icon and subscribe so that you're notified when I post a new video or when we go live. We do appreciate you taking a little time out of your week to join us this evening. So hello to Michelle from Cool Western Washington. Coffee Hobby and Me says hello everyone from Toronto, Canada, our friends to the north. And then Diane says good evening from Scottsdale, Arizona. So thank you so much. All different parts of the country for sure. So our topic today is bag trends, and we're specifically looking at the fall runway. So here's what we have planned. We're going to start by going over what's new in the Simply Classic Scoop. Then we're going to take some of the rising handbag trends from the runway and take a look at those. We'll feature our customers' bags on Artistry Avenue, and then we're going to give away a couple patterns and do a Q&A at the end. So before we get started, please take a second to click the thumbs up button. Makes a difference, helps people find us. So we are going to go over first, of course, the Simply Classic Scoop. And this is where I tell you what's going on here behind the scenes at Simply Classic. And the first thing I want to talk about is workshops. We are going to be all over the country, or I'm going to be all over the country in the next coming months. And we have just added 4 new workshops at Cali Quilt Co. in Sacramento. So it's going to be 4 bags in a row. You can see them here. We're going to be doing the Julie, the Bertram, the Simply Classic Clutch, and the Sorella in the colors you see there. And we are going to be there August 14th through the 17th. Classes are very reasonably priced. They include pre-cut class kits, lunch, and a machine rental. This is a Janome partner event, meaning we're going to be using Janome HD9s during the class. So you can register at the Cali Quilt Co. website. That's linked below. And then, of course, we have other upcoming events. I'll be in Sacramento for another week at Sac Bag and Sew. In September, we're going to be in Idaho, which I'm really excited about. And then, of course, we'll be back Pins and Needles in October. The other thing we want to let you know about, and this is something we've talked about a little bit before, but we are having our inaugural warehouse event, and we are really excited about it. The sign-up form is now live on our website. So in case you missed it, basically we are doing a in-person event at our warehouse in Thompson, Georgia on October 10th. So you can come by, meet the team, tour the warehouse and shop. And, we want you to, of course, come shop while you're here. So we'll have some light refreshments as well. It is from 10 to 3, that's Saturday. Now, if you pre-register, so if you go to this page on the website and click the link and pre-register, when you get here, show us your pre-registration, and you're going to be able to spin the wheel for a chance to either win a discount, maybe a roll of faux leather, or some kind of Simply Classic merchandise. So again, that is on the events page. Of course, it's free. We just really want to meet all of you and see all of you come join us. So Christine says, whoop, whoop, I'm already planning my route in my RV. All right, fantastic. Well, we have lots of parking here on site, so it's a gravel parking lot. People can drive in, and Christine, you can actually drive your RV in here. It's huge, so we look forward to that. So this is the final week to sign up for the summer subscription box. I know that most of you are watching have already subscribed, so we're just going to go over the details real quick. When you sign up, you'll get a curated box every season with a never-before-seen Classic pattern and materials to make your bag. We also included some extra goodies and a coupon to the online store. You get all of that for at least 20% off retail. So make sure you subscribe. You have until June 30th, which is Tuesday, to get your summer box. And then the subscription period closes until September. Also on the 30th, we'll have our June sew along. We'll be hacking the Littleia pattern to add an iPad sleeve. And you can customize it to fit your device. We'll meet on Zoom and we're going to spend the afternoon sewing together. So these are always just a lot of fun, and I hope you'll join us. We get a lot of inspiration from our sew-alongs. You all have wonderful ideas. So before we move on, we need to pick our giveaway from last week. So I have everyone who entered here, and we asked you what your favorite bag was from the designer bag inspiration segment. Okay. Our designer bag inspiration segment is always a lot of fun. I get a lot of inspiration out of it, that's for sure. So we have Margaret. So of the bag show, my favorite would be the peekaboo bag with the cat eyes. Very nice. Love it. All right, Margaret, congratulations. So please be sure to email info@simplyclassic.net. Let us know that you won. You can go ahead and let us know which pattern you would like, and then we will go ahead and get you your pattern. So Terry says, I just told my husband I can't talk right now because I'm watching the show. I love it. We really appreciate your support. I'll tell you, it means a lot to me. It really does. We work hard to try to make things fun for you and keep you informed and all kinds of good stuff. So we really do appreciate it. So Margaret, don't forget to give us an email. You have 30 days to claim your prize. So now it is time for designer bag inspiration. And today is all about the runways. And this is our main focus of our episode tonight. So we're going to be talking about this all night long. So we're going to show you some of the biggest trends from the fall runways. Now remember, the fall runways are actually done in spring. So these runways happened several months ago. And of course, it's just so that the stores and buyers can get what they need for the fall. So we looked at thousands of photos from New York Fashion Week and Milan's Fashion Week to kind of see what was trending. And we want to share those results with you today. So as we go through these trends, I would love to hear what you think. So feel free to share your thoughts in the chat if you're watching live, or in the comments if you're watching the replay. Some of them are interesting, so let's get into it. So we're going to start with an overview, and we're going to basically talk about 5 different categories. We have shapes and styles that we saw, like over and over. Okay, these things we saw a lot. Patterns in print, features and embellishments, and then patterns in print, colors, and then materials and textiles. So these are the 5 things that we felt like really were the main categories. So we're going to start with bag shapes. And the first is short, boxy bags. Okay, so you see some photos here. The silhouette is sort of a continuation of the popular east-west bags and vanity bags that have been popular over the past year or two. So these bags from the fall runway still have that kind of east-west shape, meaning they're wider than they are tall, but they're kind of on the boxier side, right? And the one on the bottom left is actually a box. It's like, and a lot of these are I don't know, they're kind of like upscale pouches in a way. Probably the Jacquemus is my favorite one out of these photos. It's interesting because I'm not usually a polka dot person, but I think that's really beautiful. I think because of the silhouette, the shape of it, very, very pretty. And the Bottega Veneta is also really a beautiful color. And I love these. The one on the right, the Marnie one, could almost go either way, right? Kind of a unisex bag. I think it could be either a man, male or female. Very, very cool. So the next shape we saw a lot of were bowler bags, and they never really go out of style, but they're kind of having a moment right now. So bowler bags or bowling bags have a dome top. Okay, that's what kind of classifies them as a bowler bag. And of course, that's because they're inspired by the bags that professional bowlers use to carry their bowling balls. Bowler bags tend to be on the larger side, but there are smaller versions too. They're not all huge. So you don't actually have to fit a bowling ball in it for it to be a bowler bag. They just need to have that dome shape. Now, looking at these, the one that caught my eye was the one on the right. I love the, I don't know, I love that side shape there, the Proenza Schuler. I like the way that that side looks like it folds up, and it's just a really beautiful red, like that really beautiful bright color. Really love that one. So Lindy Young Jones says the Hermes is interesting. Yes, it is. It's kind of a, I almost feel like that could go either direction too. That could be like a unisex bag as well. The Jacques Mousse is pretty good. The Jacques Mousse and the Miu Miu look kind of similar. So anyway, interesting. But I think that these bowler bags, of course, like I said, they're always popular, but they're very much in style right now. So next we have U-shaped side gussets. And this was a little more difficult because this is more of a construction technique than a bag type. You're going to see it used a lot on clutches and smaller shoulder bags. Usually the bags are constructed with like one main body piece, like one piece that kind of folds up for the front and the back, and it has the bottom kind of all built in. And then has like these two rounded side gusset pieces or rounded pieces for the sides. Now, if you've taken the Nina class, that is a great example of these U-shaped side gussets. It is a construction method, but it does have the U shape. So, you know, these are very classic styles of bags. They are very beautiful. You can get as large as that Donna Karan, or, you know, as small as the Proenza Schuler. I mean, you can go either way with this. So, Sonia says, I like the Donna Karan. Yeah, I do too. That is pretty. And it looks like it's suede too. It's really beautiful. And like Gucci, it looks like a little wallet. So, I mean, it could really be any size for sure. So we have a few honorable mentions that we wanted to talk about. And, you know, some of these are just kind of maybe rising trends that are just starting to spread. Others have been popular for several seasons already. But the first is leather duffel bags. And those were especially huge for men. Okay, very masculine. Of course, a duffel bag is a very masculine bag anyway. Not that women don't use duffel bags, but a lot of men go to the gym, you know, go hunting, go fishing, whatever they use duffel bags. So we also noticed a few bags with rear mounted handles, kind of like this one from Dior. They have a flat back and the handle is only attached to the back side instead of the back and the front. So it naturally kind of makes the bag a little asymmetric. A few other designers like Loewe did something similar too. So I think this is a trend to look out for the next, you know, couple of seasons, because I think we're going to see it. Kiss lock bags is something else that's getting trendy again. And of course, you need specific hardware for a kiss lock bag. I remember, I'm sure a lot of you do too, that they were very, very popular, of course, back when, like, I was a kid. I remember my grandmom had a kiss lock bag, and that was a very popular thing. I used to like to go and open and close it and open and close it and open and close it. But, you know, it's interesting how they did this kiss lock bag that you have here, because it's such a large bag. I typically think of kiss lock bags as smaller bags, but this one's very big. So very, very cool. And then the next thing are drawstring pouches. And these were huge from the spring runway. They're still going strong. I don't understand them. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not really sure why they're so big. I'm not really sure how many people are buying them, but we saw a lot of them on the runway. So that kind of takes care of shapes and styles. So now let's talk about some specific features and embellishments that we found really interesting. And the first one is long sangles and belts. Now, we saw a lot of this, all kinds of different things hanging off bags. And of course, sangles comes from the French word for strap. You probably say it's probably not really pronounced sangles, but that's what we're going with tonight. But you know, they're really more decorative straps. Okay, so they're not necessarily functional like the Moschino one in the center. You know, you can see how that bag or that strap is wrapped around the bag several times. You know, I don't know how functional that is. That might just stay that way pretty much the whole time. So they're really more decorative than functional. Okay, very trendy right now. We're seeing extended strap connectors that hang past the end of the bag. Okay, so you know, you see the Louis Vuitton one, how that's hanging way down. I mean, that's a trend. We're also seeing really long belts that wrap, of course, all the way around. Like I said, that green one in the middle, and the Todd's bag. It's kind of just like a round thing. I don't know. This one is definitely not my favorite. I don't think I want things hanging off. Yeah, the dangles or dangles and spangles and everything are a bit much for your liking. I get it, Zena. I'm with you. I don't really like this. I mean, I think that having one thing hang down, you know, for a specific bag might be okay. But I wouldn't do it for every bag, and I certainly wouldn't do several things hanging down like this. So anyway, we don't have to all love every trend. Not very practical. I agree. I mean, it seems like every time you set your bag down, you're just gonna set it and I don't know. Anyway, we'll go past that one. Okay, next thing is extended zipper plackets. This is interesting because traditionally the ends of the zipper plackets tend to be tucked into the bag to hide them, right? We know how we see that all the time. But designers are actually starting to show them off and use them as a design feature. Now, I think as well that it is very practical. And what I mean by that is your bag, it allows your bag to open really wide. Okay, so when you have a zipper that just stops at the end of your bag, you're very limited as to how wide you can open that bag. When the zipper goes past the end of the bag, you have a little more flexibility and you can usually open the bag a little wider. So I'm thinking it might be kind of a dual thing here. I kind of like this. I kind of like, I mean, not all of them, but I do like how they kind of use it as a design feature. The Todds, I think that's a very subtle way to extend the zipper and then just tuck it into a little tab. I really like that. The Todd's bag is really classy. I agree. I think that's really, Sport Max looks interesting. Yeah, that one does too. I agree. It's almost like it's almost like that whole, it's like the zipper whole thing is a separate piece that just almost sits on top. It's really kind of cool. I have to say, we're going to see that Loewe bag you see right there again in a different color. I'm not sure what they're doing there. I think they're trying to do like the peekaboo bag, but I'm not really loving that one. I like the Stella. You know, we talked about the Stella McCartney one before. Look at that Stella McCartney one. It has a belt buckle on one side, and I'm assuming on the other side, it's just holes. So it's almost like a belt was sewn onto the top of that, and then you can buckle it underneath if you don't want it hanging. So that was interesting. We thought that one was pretty interesting too. Yeah. So, oh my God, Chris, please design one of these zipper extending patterns. I love them. Yeah, I do too. And actually, I've been, you know, you all are so good about sending me pictures and things. And of course, I'm always looking at bags and trends. And this is definitely one I've had on my mind. I think this is really cool. All right, next we have beadwork. And beaded bags have always existed. As you know, we've talked about them many times in our history lessons, but they are really having a big moment right now. So if you're someone who works with beads, this is a really great opportunity to combine that with bag making to create something really unique. So looking at these photos, I like the more subtle. Like I like the McQueen and the Loro Piana, but the others I think are a little bit, they're just not quite my taste. Very eclectic, I guess you could say. I could see using them maybe for a specific event, but beyond that, I don't really know how much I would use them. So, so pretty, but not something I would do. Too fiddly for my hands, but I love the look. Yeah. Chanel looks so spring-like. It does, doesn't it? That is a very spring-like bag. You're absolutely right. And look at that. It always interests me when we look at these bags because that also has it appears, it might come out the top. It's kind of hard to tell with this picture, but it appears that that handle might also be in the back, like we talked about in the trend a few minutes ago, the back handles. Twin Sue says, I still have some of my mom's beaded kiss lock bags. Oh, yeah. See, now you're talking about two older things, the kiss lock, which we talked about a minute ago, and of course, the beads. Yep. It's amazing how things come back. If you're around long enough, you see it. Now, let's talk about some honorable mentions. So we talked about knotted handles a few weeks ago. And they're not as trendy as they were a few seasons ago, but we're certainly still seeing them on the runway. And, you know, I think that the one you see here is kind of cute. I can see using that for, you know, a casual day out by the lake, by the beach, you know, or maybe if you're at the beach going out. I think something like that's really cute. I like that. It looks like it's made out of fabric, really easy to tie that knot. The next thing isn't as straightforward because it can really show up in a lot of different ways. We saw bags designed to look like footballs and baseball mitts, which are very literal, sporty details. But we also saw more subtle details like the one you see here, or elastic cording, or maybe racing stripes. Okay, I think this is very cool. I think this is a very cool way to get a little bit of sporty feel on your bags without making it so literal, right? Studded quilting is growing, and you see this here. It's something Valentino does pretty much every season with their rock stud bag. We're seeing a lot of designers kind of copying that, so it might be something that we see more and more of. And then finally, we have bags with applique. And this is another topic, of course, we covered a couple weeks ago. I showed you how to do reverse applique, and it turns out we're in pretty good company. Now, that's a forward, or not a reverse, but a regular applique. But, you know, I think it's a cute bag. It's really, really colorful. So now it's time to talk about patterns, colors, and materials. And this is some of my favorite parts because I like to look at what we have and what, you know, it's kind of close, what we could use on the runway's inspiration. And it's amazing sometimes what you have in stock, you know, what we have here. So, of course, every fall and winter, black and brown are always going to be popular in the colder months. And in terms of material, there's always lots of suede in the winter. But that kind of goes without saying. So let's look beyond those basics to see what else is popular right now. And we're going to start with patterns and prints. So the first thing we want to talk about is leopard. There were leopard bags all over the runways. Most of them were natural tones of brown, but we also saw some really fun greens and reds among them. Something notable is that a lot of these designers actually paired their leopard bags with leopard garments, like that Anna Sui. And what they did was, you know, it wasn't too matchy-matchy. Like you can see her skirt print looks a little bigger than her bag print, okay? They didn't match the size of the leopard. And then a lot of times they didn't even match the color, okay? They just did a totally different color. So it might be fun to try a leopard print on the exterior of a bag and maybe some kind of leopard lining on the inside, just for something, you know, fun. I mean, it would be bold, but it would be kind of cool. So one thing that, you know, don't forget, we're going to go to the overhead for just a second. You know, we do have these suedes that we got in recently. These are real leather suedes that we, the colors, we talked about these a couple weeks ago. We've got the cream, they're all black, cream and black, dusty pink, gold, blue, and then the red. So those are all a little more subtle, right? They're not so much so bold, but they're just, I think it would be really beautiful on a bag. Probably going to be using those in a video, one of these in a video real soon. Now, another little hint, I'm just going to tell you, we actually got some new faux leather in a couple weeks ago, last week. We've been dealing with leather, so we haven't had a chance to get to the faux leather yet, but we actually have a new leopard faux leather. So you'll be seeing that in a couple weeks. Now, leopards weren't the only animals we saw on the runway. We also saw a good amount of zebra. And you can see here, you know, all the different zebra prints. The brown tote on the bottom, kind of middle right, that Fendi might actually be tiger, but it was listed as zebra, so we're just going to go with that. Zebra, you can see here, comes in all different colors, which, you know, it's always interesting to me when they do that, even with, you know, the real suede I just showed you. There is no such thing as a brown and black zebra, right? But they go with it. They do it. These designers, they don't really care too much about the color. They care more about the pattern. So the traditional black and white, like you see on the right, or there in the middle, the Bronx Banco, are more traditional zebra. But you've got all different kinds. I love when they pair black and white, like that Fendi bag, with bright color, like with a red or orange or something really bright. I think that's really pretty. And I actually like the other Fendi bag too, where it looks like they have some beadwork or embroidery going up the middle. Just the colors match really well. Coffee About Hobby Me says, I love the zebra with the contrast piping. Yeah, I do too. I really like that. I like that pop of color for sure. Now, we actually have two zebras coming in our faux, I say coming, they're here. We just haven't had a chance to cut them yet. So as soon as we cut them, we'll be showing you that. We have some brown, I do too. I like that, what is it called? Zimkai. But I like that one too. We actually have a faux in that color, the black and the brown, and also the black and white. So as soon as we get them cut, we'll put them up. But they're going to be great for fall. Okay, our final pattern is plaid and houndstooth. Now, this is another one that never really goes out of style, but what's interesting here is how different all of these bags are. We have gingham, we have houndstooth, we have buffalo check, we have tartan, plaid. I mean, there's so much variety when it comes to plaid. And it can be very feminine or it can be very masculine. It really can go either way. It can be casual or it can be sophisticated. And the options are really endless. These photos are interesting to me because the bag on the right literally looks like a cotton, just a regular cotton gingham bag, which it probably is, right? It's just something very different than I would have expected by far. The Vivienne Westwood, I like that. I like the colors. I like when they put plaid on the bias. I think that's really pretty. So we've got, don't forget, we've got, go ahead and we're going to go to the overhead. We have our tartan plaids. The vintage is back in stock. We just received it in this faux order that we got. So don't forget about that. We got a bunch of it, so we should have plenty. We also have, of course, the cream. And then these are kind of more like the houndstooth patterns that we have. So really, you know, plaid is popular and you can do a lot with it. And again, I think putting things on the bias really makes that be a little more trendy. The bag on the right looks like a hot dish carrier. I think so too. Gabriella Hurst looks great. Yes, that is very pretty. And I really like the way, same thing, they use binding, solid color binding to go around that bag. I think it looks really nice. Really nice. Okay, let's talk about colors. Solid white. Okay, I'm not sure what all this is about, but so much for don't wear white after Labor Day. This was huge in the fall runways. You know, we saw white patent leather, we saw white grain leather, we saw white croc. I mean, we saw all kinds of white leather. And I don't know if I remember the color of the year was white. So maybe that's why they went with it. I'm pretty sure that might have something to do with it. I don't know how practical white is. You know, I think it's fine for an event, but to use every day, I think it'd be tough. So it's very stark and anyway, but white is a huge color. We don't have any white. We actually have people ask us a lot if we have white, and unfortunately we don't. We have one faux that's a croc that's got white and brown, but not a solid white. All right, next is red wine, like a wine red. And this almost feels like a cheat because burgundy is obviously popular every single winter and fall. But you'll notice that a lot of these bags really aren't quite burgundy. They're just really a touch brighter. They don't have as much brown in them, I guess, as a burgundy would. And in particular, we saw a lot of suede bags in these really deep red tones. I love this color. I really think this is beautiful. We're going to go over the overhead for just a second because this is the one that kind of reminded me of it. This is called our Rose Wine. It is one of our new leathers that we just got in, and it is just, it's very similar to that, very pretty. We also have this one here. This is called Rouge Red. Okay, and you can see if you put these together, the difference. You can see this one's a lot deeper. And then don't forget, of course, we have our suedes that are really, this Merlot suede is always really a great option. It's really a pretty, beautiful, beautiful. It's really not burgundy. That's why we called it Merlot. It's more of a wine color. So really good options. Next color is bright red, and I'm talking bright red, okay? These are very bold, saturated reds that really catch the eye. And, you know, red bags, I think, are very cool. I think that they are, again, very eye-catching. I don't see anything wrong with a red bag. I really like red. I love that really bright red besides. So I'm going to show you, we have our new leather. We have Fire Engine Red, and that is a bright red. I mean, that is red, okay? So that's a really good option if you're looking for a leather in red. And then if you're looking for a faux leather in red, I would suggest our, we have a bright red color. So you see here are two reds. This is our bright red, and this is our cherry red. And you can see the difference in the two, you know, especially with them being right next to each other. This is really bright. And you can see next to this leather, it's very, very close in color. These two on a bag, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. That's how close they are. Okay. So again, really great options. I think red is a great color for summer or for fall, winter, doesn't matter. Yeah, red is great. I agree, Jen. I think they're beautiful. All right, our last category on trends is hair on hide. And we're going to look at, well, we're going to look at materials. And the first one we're going to look at is hair on hide. I like hair on hide. I love working with hair on hide. I really think it's beautiful. And you know, these, of course, bags pop up every winter. They've been very popular the past couple of years. And last year we saw a lot of really colorful fur and long fur. And there's certainly some of that this year, but we really saw more muted colors. And, you know, you can see here, a lot of these are more natural colors. A lot of the browns, a lot of the grays, off-white. Is it hard to sew with? It is, the longer the hair, then I'd say yes, the harder it is to sew with. If you're using real hair on hide, it's messy when you cut it. So just make sure you get the vacuum ready. It's beautiful. I mean, it gives a sheen and it is absolutely gorgeous. The shorter, like what you normally see on cow hides or, you know, the shorter rug stuff, is really not, it's not difficult. The only thing you got to remember is if you're using real hair on hide, and a lot of times, of course, you're going to want to overlap seams. You're going to want to, I like to overlap my solid leather on top of my hair on hide and then stitch. I don't really like stitching on hair on hide. I want the stitches to I don't like to be able to see the stitches. And double-sided tape doesn't stick really well to it because, of course, it's hair. So it usually comes right off. So you gotta kind of watch that. That's so Nova says, I adore hair on high bags. Yes, they're beautiful. Hi, Nova. Fixation Fiber Function says, I have hot pink rabbit fur I've been holding on to because I'm scared to cut and use it. So rabbit is usually, well, you know, there's different kinds of rabbits. I'm assuming it's a little bit longer. When you cut it, you don't want to just cut it like normal fabric. You're going to go to the back side and you're just going to cut through the actual skin part and then just pull the hair apart, okay? A lot of times you'll even see people cut it with a razor and then they just pull the hair apart. So you're not actually cutting the hair itself. And then in a lot of ways, it's kind of easy to stitch because you don't see the seams. You could just butt the two pieces of the skin part together and stitch it. And then I dare you to try to find the seam. If it's longer, you're not going to be able to find it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun to work with. I actually have some faux that I will try to get around to making a video with. And that would probably really help you because it's pretty long and it's really, I think it would make a beautiful bag. I mean, definitely not something you might carry every day, but I think it would be something that you would definitely, it would be a statement. Let's just say that. And I think yours would too. The long hair reminds me of Cousin It. Hair on high is really pretty though. I have to say, I love it. Matter of fact, we have a little, this is just a side note. We have a Walmart not that far from us. And there's a guy across from Walmart that works out of a trailer and he's got belts that he sells, you know, leather belts. And he had a couple of hair on hide hides, like big ones, hanging over like a piece of cording today. And I drove by and was like, what is that? Yeah, I have some. I don't need any more, but I mean, it just really, it's fun. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, now here's an interesting trend, and this is one I absolutely love, matte crocodile. Now, a lot of the embossed crocodile leather that designers use are very glossy. I don't really like that, but a lot of it is, it catches the light and it has kind of different tones to it. But this season we saw a lot more matte crocodile, which kind of has a flatter finish and it doesn't really reflect light at all. It's very understated and sometimes you can't even tell that the bag is Croc until you look at it real close, like the Loewe one on the right there. So we saw quite a few designers use suede that has been finished to resemble Croc. So that's going to be a very matte look because, of course, suede has absolutely no shine to it at all. Shiny things are not my favorite. I really like kind of more understated. And all of these bags are absolutely gorgeous. That Loewe one, remember I told you we're going to see that again, only in a different color? Here it is. So again, I think they're trying to kind of mimic or copy that Peekaboo bag. And I'm not sure. I like a lot of Loewe bag. I'm not loving this bag. I'm not loving this Loewe bag. I'm not really sure what they're doing. But all these others, that Chanel is gorgeous. The Dolce, of course, is beautiful. The Loewe on the right is pretty, although again, they have the bag open. I think they need to get off that trend and just do their own thing because they do it really well. Instead of trying to copy everybody, just do your own thing. I've never seen matte Croc. Yeah, it's really pretty. Now, I'm going to tell you, again, we have this faux that we're getting ready to cut. We actually have 3 new matte crocodiles that are going to be we have a green, we have like a cream and brown, and then a darker brown. Really beautiful, beautiful. I cannot wait to work with them and get them up. I haven't even been able to work with them yet. It's going to be beautiful. So our last textile is something completely different. It's not leather or fur, but satin. Now, as I said before, drawstring pouches are really popular right now, and a lot of them are made with satin or silk. And I'm sure they are made from satin or silk because it's such a soft hand, right? I mean, it's such a, it's just, let's face it, satin is, you can crumple it and it doesn't really wrinkle, and it's a great thing to work with. But I'm not sure about these drawstring pouch things. The Erdown bag on the bottom left also has knotted handles. It looks like it has a little beadwork or embroidery. You know, that's a little more of a regular bag, I guess you could call it. But these pouches, I don't know. Satin's good for wedding bags. Yeah, I think that's about it. I really do. Um, we were talking that, you know, if I had a satin bag like that with a drawstring, I would feel like I was going to a sleepover over somebody's house or something. I mean, it's just, I don't understand. I don't understand it. Not a fan of the drawstring or the satin. Yeah, me either. Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, I'm not into the satin. I'm not either. Now, I think satin on the inside for a lining would be fine, but for the outside, I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around it. All right, I'm going to ask you guys, what does that Christian Dior one remind you of? Because we had a couple discussions about what that reminded us of here. It's very interesting, that shape. Interesting how she's holding it. Peanut, yeah. It does. It reminds me of a peanut. Reminds me of a woman's bust. It reminds me of those old neck pillows that you used to have, a skein of yarn. Yeah. I don't know. Very interesting. A sleep mask. Yep, that's a good one. A dog bone, a barbell. There you go. Look at you guys. I love it. Yeah, I agree. Gym weight. Yeah, yeah. Dog bone pillow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Glasses case. There you go. So, anyway, you know, you never can tell. They got to try it, right? And sometimes, hey, maybe it'll hit. That's not my favorite thing. All right, finally, we have some honorable mentions here. And first one is neutral colored ostrich. So most of the ostrich bags we're seeing right now are very neutral in the colors. We saw grays, browns, blacks, but not a lot of bright colored ostrich. Now, of course, we have ostrich in a lot of different colors. I like the brighter colors, but I also like the muted colors. And we're going to go to the overhead for just a second. And I'm going to show you kind of the different colors of ostrich we have. You can see we've got a ton of ostrich. But a lot of what we were seeing was like the tan and the brown, you know, the mushroom and the browns, like in this color family right here. Of course, you know, black is always a good one, but not a lot of colors. So interesting. But of course, we've got all different kinds. All right, we already talked about then polka dots. Okay, polka dots is something we saw a little bit of. Not really sure where that's going. We've seen a few, so that might be happening. You can see here that the polka dots also have the handles on the same side. That was interesting. I'm sorry, I kind of got out of order here. Green Croc. Green Croc was really huge, a lot of green. Some of it was still shiny, like the one you see here. A lot of it was muted. One of the muted colors I told you about, or one of the new faux that we have, is going to be a green Croc. It's really pretty. But we saw emerald, olive green, a little bit of lime green, all different kinds of green in crocodile. And then, of course, bright yellow. Talked about bright yellow last week. Fendi has got this bright yellow bag. Of course, we have got, you know, that sunshine bright yellow. We don't have a lot of it left, but we do have some. In the spring, we saw more of pale yellow, but for winter, we're seeing some more bright yellow. And I think this Fendi bag is a perfect example of it. And then, sorry, as I mentioned, polka dots. They've been trending on clothing for some years, but, you know, we haven't seen a lot of polka dot bags. I think it's polka dots kind of reminiscent of little girls, but I think that's really a beautiful bag. Polka dots are happy. Yeah, polka dots are happy. That's a Dior. We saw Jacques Mousse. So I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing more polka dots. I think we might as time goes on. So let's take one final look at our trends from the fall. This is, of course, fall 2026 runway. Really interested to hear which ones that you liked and which ones you didn't like. And if there's any trends that you've seen that we missed. I think by far my favorite is going to be the matte crocodile, um, and then the kind of wine colors. I think those two are really beautiful. I do like that zebra print one that you see there in the center. I like that. I like that they paired that one with brown. I mean, I think you can use zebra and leopard in really great ways, especially if you I guess I like it when it's outlined. Okay, I like it when you've got some kind of either piping or you've got some kind of binding or something around it to kind of help, or some kind of something to kind of break it up. I think it's really pretty. The red bowler bag is your favorite. Matte croc, leopard, and zebra. Okay, great. Matte croc and bowler bag. Okay. Plaid, yeah, plaid is just a good classic. It really is. I love chains. Oh, that's something we didn't really mention, did we? We didn't see a lot of chains. I mean, we saw, Chanel's always got some kind of chain, but not a lot of chains. We saw a lot of them last year. If you remember, when we did our spring runway show, or when we talked about that. The U-shaped gusset side in the red bag. Yep. Croc matte red. Okay, great. Well, we've got some really good things coming for you then when we put our new faux up. Give us a few weeks and we will definitely do that, because there's some cool things. Red, red, and more red. Right. Matte croc for sure. I agree. I love the matte. Extended placket. Yeah, there you go. I think that extended placket is really pretty too. I need to come up with something like that. Plaid, zebra, and bowler bags. You guys like bowler bags? I don't have a bowler bag pattern. I might have to explore that. Matte croc and bowler. Maybe even do some kind of bowler bag with an extended zipper placket. Ooh. I'm liking the plaid and all white. Okay, great. Yeah. All right. Well, great. Well, I appreciate all your feedback there. Zinnia says, Chris, I always feel smarter about bags and fashion after your lessons. Thank you so much. Well, you're welcome. We have to give Shauna all the credit because she's the one that worked so hard at these bag makers' workroom. So she did a fantastic job. So we are going to move on to Artistry Avenue, and this is where we feature bags made by you, our customers. My favorite part. You can, if you're featured, you will get a free PDF pattern of your choice. You have 30 days to email info@simplyclassic.net and let us know which bag you would like. So we are going to start with Mary Lou's bag. She made the Leah, and the Leah is our featured pattern right now. She made this for her daughter, who's a teacher, and she ended up enlarging the width by 3 inches to accommodate a laptop. How smart is that? So now she can fit her laptop and her water bottle and whatever else she would like in there. And it is just beautiful. Love the colors of it because it's very sophisticated, very beautiful. So excellent job, Mary Lou. Cheryl Taylor also made a Leah. And as a reminder, the Leah pattern is the PDF version is $12.49 this week. It's really a great time to pick it up. So if you have not made the Leah yet, you need to go ahead and grab it. Cheryl used this beautiful faux snake, which we used to carry. It's been discontinued by our supplier, so unfortunately we cannot get any more. But I really love how she paired this with navy. And then look at that nice bright pocket on the inside. She really pulled out that lime green, and this is absolutely gorgeous. And oh, thank you. You're welcome, Cheryl. You always do a great job. And next we have the Busta made by Susan. She used our blue-green croc, which is what this is, and it kind of has a little bit of shine to it. It's not super shiny, but we've got some really matte stuff coming from you. But again, this is very on trend for fall. The Busta is one of those underrated bags. I'm telling you, the Busta is an amazing bag to make. I love the Busta. It's like one pattern piece in the flap. I mean, it's so simple, and yet it's such a sophisticated bag. And Susan did a wonderful job with this. I mean, sophistication to the max, right? I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. So excellent job, Susan. So thank you to our featured artists for your amazing makes and shares. We appreciate you sharing them. Don't forget to email info@simplyclassic.net within the next 30 days and let us know which PDF pattern you would like. So before we move on to our Q&A, let's talk about our giveaways. We are going to give away 2 PDF patterns of your choice. We'll choose one live stream winner from the chat and one replay winner from the comments. So if you're watching live, so right now, Thursday night, here's how to enter. All you need to do is type the word runway, all one word, runway, in the chat. So please only enter the keyword one time and we'll pick a random winner while we do our Q&A. This is open worldwide. If you're watching the replay, you can also enter to win. Just leave a comment that includes 2 things. That's your first name and your favorite trend from today's episode. You have until next Wednesday to enter, and I'll randomly choose a winner on next week's episode. So we're going to take a look at our questions. Now, first thing I want to address is we had a couple people ask us about the template that I used in our tassel episode a few weeks ago. They wanted to know where I purchased it. And there are a lot of pattern templates out there, but I got mine from a place called That Template Shop, and it's made by Pierre. That's the name of the company. It's by Pierre. So check them out. That's the exact one that I use. Again, I know other people have them. So if I'm sure if someone else has them, it works just as well. And get what you can, because they're really great to have around, very handy. Okay, so as we finish up, I just want to again remind you that if you are out and about wanting to get out and meet me, we obviously are going to be all over the place this year. We're also a few things we haven't mentioned yet. We're going to be in Pennsylvania. We're going to be in Arizona. I know Arizona is October 30th and 31st. And of course, we would love to see you at our warehouse event. So if you happen to live in the area or you'll be passing through, hopefully it'll be on October 10th and you can stop by. Christine says, when is the next leather class? That is an excellent question. We are having so much difficulty getting Salpa. We cannot get it. If we could get it, we'd like to put up another Lacey for sure. So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting on Rocky Mountain Leather to have them, order it and have it come in. I try to source it some myself. We're going to continue to try it. It's really difficult sometimes to get that. Yeah, it's amazing sometimes that you have to go through to source things. We'll continually try, because I would like to get to a point where I source it myself and then I don't have to worry about getting it from anybody else. But right now our holdup is Salpa. In the meantime, I am working on another leather class. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited about it. So as soon as we can get things finished up there, get the videos recorded, then we will certainly be putting that one up. So we definitely have a new one in the making for you. All right, let's see if we have a winner. So Quilted Cactus Tony, congratulations. Make sure you email info@simplyclassic.net. Let us know which PDF pattern you would like, and we will go ahead and send it to you. If you could let us know in the next 24 hours, it does help us. No, we don't have to keep track of it, so we really would appreciate it. So Coffee Hobby and Me says, can you use something other than Salpa? Yeah, there are other types of stiffeners out there. I believe that Tandy has I think maybe they call it Bontex. There's some, and I've kind of experimented with these. There's some that you can peel the backing off and stick them on. I'm not really sure I like that as much. I really like gluing because it really makes the leather and the stiffener react as one piece. Once they're glued, now essentially they're one piece. And that's what I really like. I'm always afraid that when you peel and stick, it may not stay, especially since you're not sewing through it. So I'm not saying they're not good. I haven't used them that much. And, might be something I'll have to explore in the future if we can't get Salpa, that's for sure. So Casey says, Yeltex, Eva Foam, or some others. Okay, great. And Debbie says, what pattern is the quilted bag on your left? So this one here is the Little Leah. We're actually doing the sew along with this on Tuesday. So this is the hack I did a couple weeks ago on Bag Maker's Workroom. And it's just our cream colored faux leather. I used a brown thread. And the piping is made out of our plaid, one of our houndstooth type of plaids. I'm not sure, what do we call that? We call it small houndstooth plaid. There you go. So the reason why I quilted it is because it has a iPad sleeve on the inside. So if we go to the overhead real quick, I can show you what I'm talking about. So what I ended up having to do with this, let me turn it around so you can see it, is I had to increase the height to accommodate my iPad. Okay, so depending on what you have for a tablet, Kindle, whatever it may be, you're going to have to adjust the pattern. And this is what we're doing in the sew along. Okay, I show you how to do it. You can go back and watch the replay of the Bag Maker's Workroom so you can kind of prepare for the sew along. And then I just did a 1-inch diagonal quilting. Of course, still have my zipper pocket. The reason, again, why I quilted it is because I'm using foam instead of Decovil Light because, again, it has an iPad sleeve. And I really wanted to make sure it was protected. Put the credit card slots on the iPad sleeve itself. And then, of course, I have my regular zipper or slip pocket, excuse me, over here on the side. So this is really, I'm excited to do this sew along. I think that a lot of you are going to come up with some fantastic ideas for it. And then I just kind of did this cool handle where I added a piece of plaid right in the center. You know, I have to tell you, I don't like plaid. Plaid's not my favorite. You know, everybody likes different things, and that's what makes the world go round. I'm not a plaid person. I don't like plaid on my body. I don't like plaid on my back. I'm just not a plaid person. But I wanted to use it, and so I didn't want the whole handle to be plaid because to me that was going to be a little too much. So I just made part of it plaid. And so I think it's kind of a fun detail, and it's a good way to use the plaid without it being all plaid, right? So yeah, Little Leah. So what is the quilted bag on your right? Okay, so that one up here, I think you're talking about, is the Leah. So that's real leather. And it is the, let me put this back. It's our featured pattern this week. Grab it for you. And I made this out of leather and quilted it again because I used foam and did not use any glue on this. The Leah holds a 40-ounce water bottle. And we're going to go to the overhead. I'll show you the sleeve here. You can see it's separated so that you can stick your water bottle in there. You don't have to zip and unzip your bag. And then on the inside, we have got a zipper pocket here on one side. And then on the other side, we have a divided slip pocket. Okay. This is the bigger version of the Little Leah. So this is the big sister. This is kind of what we started out with when I actually started making the Leah. I made this larger bag, and a lot of people liked it, but they wanted a smaller version, which is why we came up with the Little Leah. But this has a crossbody handle that your crossbody strap that you can use, and then of course it is, you know, just a regular carrying bag. And I just quilted it. This is a 2-inch diagonal quilt. Okay, just 2 inches, and then use black because I use black accents. Yeah. So again, featured pattern. Go ahead and grab it. So Dogwood Grove Goods says, I've always used Decovil Light with leather, no problem. I use a heat press at 315 degrees for 15 seconds, no steam. Okay. Oh, sorry, for 10 seconds. I'm thinking 315, thinking 15, 10 seconds, no steam. Okay. Yeah, I have done that as well. Some of the leathers, you need to definitely test it first. So what I will do is I'll take a small piece of leather, you know, 4x4, and a small piece of Decovil Light or whatever it may be, and I just put it on the heat press, check it out, and just make sure it doesn't affect the leather at all before you do that. If it doesn't, I mean, you can use it. You know, it's not a problem. You certainly can. You know, with our leather classes, I do try to use the Salpa just to kind of teach the technique and stuff instead of using the Decovil Light, but that is definitely an option for sure. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we really appreciate you joining us this week for the Bag Makers Workroom. Make sure you join us next Thursday, July 2nd. It's hard to believe it's going to be the 4th of July at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Next month, that July 2nd, it starts Leather Month. Yee, I'm so excited. We love Leather Month. That's self-proclaimed Leather Month. And if you remember last year, we did our first July Leather Month. We had a great time. So all the episodes in July are going to be about leather. We're going to talk about the key differences in working with real and faux leather next week. So don't forget to submit your Simply Classic makes by posting them in the Facebook group or emailing info@simplyclassic.net. Please remember to click the thumbs up button on your way out. And until next week, everybody, happy sewing.